Good morning. Welcome to this Unitarian Universalist Church, which includes our church here in Birmingham, our church in Tuscaloosa, and all of our folks online. Whoever you are, and we mean that very seriously in this congregation, and whomever you love, wherever you are today, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. To all who are here this morning, welcome home and happy Pride. Our prelude prepares us for worship.
We light this flame to ignite our hearts and minds, the spark of knowledge that enlightens, the shimmering hope that burns, the blazing love that engulfs our actions, the bonfire of our commitment. We light this flame for those who celebrate themselves, who fear, who hope, who persevere, who stand on the side of love for all. We light this flame for those who have been ridiculed, that they may find peace, for those who have fought to marry, that they may celebrate, for those who live in the uncertainty in the world, that they may find hope. We light this flame to renew our commitment that no one shall ever again suffer for the right to love. We light this flame to celebrate our kaleidoscope of diversity, working, loving, and living on the side of love. For this, we light this flame. In the spirit of inclusivity and welcome, please take a few minutes to greet those around you, especially those you don't recognize. For those online, please greet each other in the chat. Hi, Eddie. How are you? please rise, embody your spirit, and sing our opening hymn, number 305 in the hardcover hymnal. Thank you.
Good morning. As you get back to your seat and turn to 305, I want to ask, how many Spanish speakers, even a little bit, do we have in here? Spanish speakers? Yeah, a few. Okay. So we're going to be adventurous and sing the first verse first in Spanish. And mi español es muy terrible. So I need lots of help from anyone who can speak Spanish. And then we'll go back and we'll sing the 3 verses in English. Bueno.
Good morning. Pardon my voice. I'm Helen Rivas from the Justice Committee, and I wanted to dedicate today's Justice Minute to the memory of Ruth Wright of the League of Women Voters and other citizen watchdogs. Ruth attended every single county commission meeting and reported back. And that kind of attention is really important, especially now when so many media outlets are failing us. So, and are you all feeling overwhelmed by everything that's going on? Right, yeah. So we can't do everything, but we can do something. And yesterday evening, I was at the Peace Vigil of 5 Points, and a person came up and said, I want to thank you. I cannot do demonstrations and other things because of the sensitivity of my job. But, they said, I do write letters, email, and call my elected officials. So, and I appreciated that. And I told them, do keep a journal because eventually you'll be able to write a book about what's been going on in your job. And yesterday morning, a group of Oxmoor Valley residents and supporters gathered over on Lakeshore near the Nebius data center site, which is humongous. Continuing the response to what is widely seen as official actions taken without transparency. Current news reports have focused on the public demands for more accountability and allegations that officials have not told the public the truth about things. Birmingham city officials are claiming helplessness about the Industrial Development Board actions related to the center. Yet who appointed these officials? And while there are claims about transparency, very little information in public, including public notice and public hearings, which are supposed to happen, has been forthcoming. And this is so true. When you're voting for an official, they appoint boards. You can't necessarily blame just the board, the Birmingham Water Works Board. My experience with this first began with transit advocacy. Be careful look at who is being appointed to boards. Do they really care about performing a civic duty, or is it just to fill their resume or for some other reason? And so I'd like to add something that really came to me yesterday. This is the kind of sign you want to hold up when you're on Lakeshore or a highway or whatever. A few words, big letters. We were holding up signs, but cars going by at 50 miles an hour, I don't think could read the wonderful slogans that were on those signs. And immigration is also something. We are detaining more people in Alabama than any other place. There are ways to get involved there. Also, our Justice Committee is going to be submitting a proposal for transit funding for the Alabama Arise General Meeting in the fall. If you want to be involved, contact us. Thank you. Keep taking your vitamins.
Good morning. I am Julie Nicholson Morgan, President of the Board. 3 more days. Please read and mark the bottom of your connection card before you turn it in. Our church is supported by those who call our church home and by those who support the efforts of our church to change our world for the better. If this is your first time with us, please pass the plate. We're just glad that you're here. Special note, we only have 88% of pledges in for the church year. That ends on Tuesday. It is not too late to send in your pledge, so please send it in now. We share our cash plate every Sunday with organizations whose work reflects UU values to care for marginalized persons, advocate for real and systemic change, defend our environment, and promote justice and equity for all. Today, we are sharing our plate with Take Resource Center in honor of Pride Month. Take is dedicated to supporting and transforming the lives of Black trans women and the larger trans community. And we support their life-saving, life-giving work each week in June. We appreciate your donations, either by placing them in the plate, by mailing your donation to the church, or by using PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. More information is found in the order of service in your lower right corner. Thank you for your generous support of our church and our Share the Plate recipient. And for the last time, for me, may we give in love and in hope.
If you are so moved to do so this morning, please sing or hum along. We are all friends of Dorothy today. Somewhere over fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. Your family is a gift, and so are you. Now we turn our hearts into taking care of our beloved community in all the ways that we do so. Today we celebrate pride. We celebrate each of you for who you are and who you love and the right that you have to do those things and to celebrate your identity. We also have people to lift up this morning. And for this, I need to extinguish our chalice because we have lost some church members since I was last in the pulpit. So I extinguish our chalice in honor of Alice Lise, who passed away a couple of weeks ago, very unexpectedly, and we are going to miss Alice terribly. Her service will be held August 8th, and so we extinguish the chalice in honor of her life and her legacy and her reminder that we will miss her dearly. We also lift up Jennifer Taylor, Kathy Taylor's daughter, who passed away in the last couple of weeks as well. We lift up Kathy and all who love her as that we remember Jennifer. Jennifer's service will be August 23rd. And you'll see in your order of service, there's an opportunity to help with those receptions. And just yesterday, we lift up the Melcher family who lost one of their matriarchs, Barbara, Sherry's mother-in-law, Michael's mother, and Kayla and Marigold's grandmother. So we lift up the Melcher family in your loss as well. Lots of things to remember. So we hold all of those in our hearts as we relight our chalice to remember that it is up to us to carry the flame forward in memory of all of these wonderful people. We also lift up Holly Hilton, who is recovering from surgery and is doing well. For those of you online, I invite you to share your joys and sorrows in the chat with one another in the ways that only you can do. And for the rest of you, I invite you to come forward and drop a stone in honor or in memory of what is on your heart today. And if you wish to receive a rainbow blessing on your face or your hand, then I will also offer those today in honor of Pride Sunday. Please come forward. You want it on your hands? Let's do it over here. You are a child of the universe. You are so beautiful. Let us enter into a spirit of prayer and meditation together. You are blessed, and you are a blessing. They tried to remove you, us, from sports and locker rooms, bathrooms and churches, military service, from policies that protect, libraries and classrooms that teach, from public life in America, to legislate us out of existence. And yet, here we are, still here, as we have always been, and not going anywhere. For we are blessed. We are a blessing. Blessed in our tattooed, scarred, ever-changing, morphing, evolving bodies. Blessed in our changing voices, wardrobes, pronouns, and haircuts. Blessed in our names, our height and depth, our faith. Blessing the world with authenticity, with our chaos, our beauty, our liberation. Blessing the world with our leadership in movements for change. Blessing the world by shining our light on those who wish us ill. Because we are so much freer than they could ever imagine being. All of you, all of who you are, is nothing short of a miracle. You are a blessing to this world. Let us take a moment of silence and celebration together. Amen and blessed be. Will the children please come forward?
Morning, friends. So today we are celebrating Pride, right? And that, yeah, so I wore a rainbow. So today, Pride is a celebration, right, of LGBTQIA plus people being able to live their lives fully and authentically as themselves. Pretty cool. It's a reminder that every person is wonderfully made and that our communities are stronger when everyone is welcomed and included. So I thought I'd tell you a story about crayons. Crayons, you know, like you color with them? No, different. So yeah, crayons and Pride Month. We're gonna make this work, guys. You ready? We got it, okay. So once upon a time, there was a little box of crayons, and inside the box, there were of a lot of different colors, because that's how crayon boxes are, right? There was a bright red crayon who loved to draw big hearts. There was a sunny yellow crayon who liked to draw the bright sun and the sky. And there was some calm blue crayons that liked to draw peaceful, calm things. And then there was green crayons who liked to draw the forest and the trees and all of those beautiful things. And there was all sorts of other colors too, right? Excellent. So each crayon was proud of what they could create. But one day, the crayons started to think about who the most important color was. Obviously, it's red. Well, that's what red said. Red said, I'm the most important because everyone needs a heart and love. So, without blue, we wouldn't have water. Well, you know, ironically, blue said, I'm the most important because people need peace and calm. Yeah, right. Yellow said, no. I'm the most important because the world needs happiness and sunshine. So the crowd started arguing. but they forgot something very important. What do you think it was? They were crayons, yeah? What do you think, Kate? Oh, the white crayon because it's different? That's a good idea. Well, pictures need all the colors, right? Rainbows need all of the colors. The world needs all of the beautiful different colors. So how can one color be more important than another? So the next day, a child picked up the box of crayons, and they didn't pick out just one crayon. They used the red to make hearts, because red was important. They used the yellow to make stars, because the yellow was important. They used the blue to make the sky, and the green to color in the trees and the fields, and even purple to draw some flowers, because all the colors were important. Orange was even the bright ideas. What do you think, Kate? White probably was clouds. You could draw clouds with them. Or maybe a rabbit. What do you think, Seb? Yeah, you have to use like a dark colored paper. Yeah, but it works. Like a black piece of paper. You're totally right. Or dark green, absolutely. So when the picture was finished, the crayons looked at each other and looked at the picture, and they smiled. They realized they were never supposed to compete with one another. They were meant to create something beautiful together, right? And the crayons discovered that their differences were not a problem, that their differences were the reason that the picture was more beautiful. So Pride Month reminds us that people are kind of like those crayons. Every person has their own story and their own experiences and their own way of being. And our LGBTQIA friends and family have always been an important part of this story, an important part of our communities. And Pride is a time that we can celebrate them and their lives and their love and their joy. So we don't create a loving community by making everybody exactly the same. We create a loving community by making sure everyone has a space to be included. We make a loving community by making sure that everyone can be themselves. Our Unitarian Universalist values remind us that everyone deserves these things. Love is important because everyone deserves care and kindness. Pluralism reminds us that the differences make our community stronger. And interdependence reminds us that we need each other to survive. Equity reminds us that everyone deserves a chance to be flourishing and fabulous. And justice reminds us to stand up for people when they are left out or treated unfairly. So during Pride Month, when we celebrate all of our LGBTQIA plus friends and family, we celebrate love. We celebrate belonging when we remember that every person is a beautiful color and that every person is a part of that picture of our world. So may we keep creating a world where everyone is welcomed, everyone is valued, and everyone feels free to shine. The end. All right, grown-up friends, can you sing us downstairs for some community time?
This past month, Brandon, can you turn me down a little bit? I'm like echoing in my brain up here. Thank you. This past month, I've noticed several of my favorite queer influencers, like William Hanson, who teaches British table manners. Has anyone watched William's videos? He teaches you how to cut up a taco with a fork and knife. So he's got some interesting perspectives, but he teaches British table manners. And Mr. Williams Pre-K, yes, who is known for his hilarious mocking of authoritarianism. I noticed both of them, they were posting pictures of themselves with their husband on their social media feeds. And my first reaction to this was just absolute delight for them. Not only that they had found this loving person who they loved, but that they felt comfortable and safe enough to share those pictures in the wider milieu. Because my second reaction was also concern. It is kind of dangerous out there for certain people right now, right? Is this going to lead to more online hate or nastiness to them? And it led me to an important conclusion, since I don't know these people personally, that LGBTQIA+ folks are some of the bravest people that I know. Because I know those folks, and most LGBTQIA+ folks that I know have already dealt with hate and bigotry, often discrimination, sometimes even violence because of their identity. And yet they are still here, donning rainbows, marching in public, reminding the world that they exist and that their lives and their loves are just as valid as everyone else's. On this day, June 28th, in 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village, a routine act that had occurred countless times in gay bars across the country. Police would randomly show up, arresting people for cross-dressing, which at that time might have been as simple as women wearing pants, and arresting people for dancing with same-sex partners. But 57 years ago, queer folks were fed up with this behavior, and so they pushed back. Led by Black trans woman Marsha P. Johnson and Latina trans woman Sylvia Rivera, taking to the streets by the hundreds to demand justice. Stonewall was not the beginning of LGBTQ history, nor was it the beginning nor the end of LGBTQ folks gathering despite the risks and pushing back in the face of injustice. As Rand Bishop writes for Medium, we'd like to think that the LGBTQ+ community has made quantum progress over the last 60-some years. We aspire to one day live in a world in which sexual orientation and gender identity no longer factor in how we are viewed or judged. In reality, in many ways, we are only just beginning to catch up to a level of acceptance that until just over a century ago had prevailed in the previous millennia. In 2026, Pride continues to be a protest despite amazing leaps forward. None of us are free until all of us are free. And in our cities, especially as we celebrate Pride, it's easy to see a better future, where folks are treated with dignity, where few assumptions of family structure exist, where many major companies employ many types of people. Even in smaller towns throughout Alabama, we have seen brand new Pride events cropping up in the last 2 years. That is an incredible feat. Couples now have multiple choices for officiants in most major offshoots of religious groups. Many houses of worship across our cities welcome and include queer folks as members. And depending on the congregation, they might even let you volunteer or serve in church governance. We are blessed to have incredible representation on our boards. But even more so than our current representation is that we have had LGBTQ representation on our boards for decades. And we've even had a queer minister. or two. I don't know all of their orientations, but I know of at least one. I was so honored last year when Pride named us Ally of the Year. My name is on the award, but it's our award because it's our work together and our shared work that allows us to be seen in the community as the allies that we are. And the work that you allow me to do in the community is what spreads the word about our truly inclusive space. And folks can show up because they've seen me out in public, but as I've said before, you are the real test of whether they will be welcome and inclusive. And they are included. Welcome and inclusion are so important, but feeling a sense of belonging is another level of depth that we are all striving to achieve here in our beloved communities. It is the deepest sense of being seen. And yet, harmful behavior still occurs based on fear of the unknown, based on ignorance of biological principles of queer and trans examples in the rest of the animal kingdom, and misguided interpretations of Christian scripture fueled by hateful propaganda influencing the highest levels of corporations and government. This week, Texas passed a bill requiring the reading of Christian scriptures for all Texas public school students. Without skipping to a beat, I jumped into the pool with all my clothes on. I wanted to know exactly which passages they would be reading. Because some passages are certainly more harmful than others. I'm not opposed to any child learning that we should be loving our neighbor as much as we love ourselves. But that's about as far as I'll go. And I was desperate to see which scriptures were chosen that would be presented by teachers through required standards who do not have the benefit of the academic study of scripture that I have. And so starting with 6-year-olds, students will be reading Noah's Ark, David and Goliath, and Daniel and the Lion's Den, written for schools by none other than the Christian Broadcasting Network. They're such experts on scripture. And I know many of you are thinking, especially if you were raised in a Christian church, well, those are very children-friendly stories. And I would say to you, you must not have a Gen Zer in your life or Gen Alpha. No, it's Gen Alpha. Because Gen Alpha is a whole different generation. Am I right, parents? And when you tell children that God flooded the world and saved like a dozen people, but killed a bunch of other people and all the animals, they are not going to be fans of that story. So Texas doesn't know this, but they're about to create a lot more Unitarian Universalists, am I right? Woo! Older students are going to be exposed to more heteronormative passages and more verses pulled out of context to defend not helping the economically disadvantaged. And bills like this, as well as Alabama's 10 Commandments law, are attempting to enforce the cis-heteropatriarchy under the guise of patriotism and reestablishing a fictitious American standard. Now, parents, if you're worried whether this is going to come to Alabama, it probably will. But I will tell you, and I have some really great friends from some really great acronym organizations that are helping me put this together. But in the fall, we're going to have a whole workshop about how to better prepare ourselves and our children for this encroachment on our religious freedom in public schools. So I hope all of our parents and grandparents and supporters will be there because we're going to fight back. This American standard is and has always been imaginary. Before this country was colonized, indigenous people all over this land recognized more than two genders. They highly respected gender-fluid people, and they validated same-sex relationships and respected them. What historians now recognize is that while some colonists brought a different perspective, sexuality was not as tightly defined and rigid as it is today, believe it or not. As John Stouffer, a professor at Harvard, says, one of the great ironies is that sexuality from classical antiquity through the mid-19th century was far more open-ended and far more fluid than it was from the late 19th century until today. As Bishop writes, still, until the late 19th century, most people allowed that what consenting adults did behind closed doors was their business and their business alone. My, what a great achievement we could get if we could just get there. Our need to identify in specific ways and label ourselves as subsets of a greater non-normative community is a new phenomenon. But as Bishop writes, folks we now categorize under this ever-lengthening acronym that starts with LGBTQ have lived relatively openly and even thrived since the earliest days of human culture, often without suffering stigma or bias. Now this Saturday, our country's celebrating something, if we can get there, which I'm hoping we can at this point. Our 250th birthday. And already the propaganda machine has been churning out falsehoods at full blast, has it not? If you need to feel better, watch some videos of how well the National State Fair is going. It is sad. They are attempting to define our country as a white, straight Christian nation. Many of us cling to this notion that the American experiment has attempted to create a nation unlike any other, while exploitation has fueled that process. Our hope of democracy remains constant, that many of us want to build a country where everyone flourishes, everyone can live and love as they wish, and where everyone's voice is heard. This past week, Pete Buttigieg shared that he and Chasten's 4-year-old twins were removed from their home this week based on a complaint by a woman in Alabama who claimed that while she met Pete at a conference, he just randomly confessed to her a bunch of violent crimes that he had participated in. Sounds very logical. And unsurprisingly, the claims were unfounded. The children only spent one night away from their parents, and thankfully they were able to go to grandparents. But the fact that this situation was given any credibility at all is the fault of many people. And the point of this exercise was to induce fear. Fear that the government would come take our children, fear that Democrats continue to be targeted, fear that queer families could be ripped apart. Fear is the point. Because Pete is a threat to the type of society that they want to build. He represents all of those things. As Pete has shared in interviews, should he become president, he would likely not be the first gay president. Man, that ruffles some feathers. Now, research has emerged in the past couple of years suggesting that Pete's hypothesis is correct, and that indeed we have already had a gay president or 2. Now, James Buchanan is definitely a top contender. Lifelong bachelor, lived with his vice president in the same home for years and years and years. We support you, President Buchanan. But the name on everyone else's mind is a little bit different. It's a little different president. Arguably the greatest president of all time, Abraham Lincoln. Now, I know some of you inwardly clutched your pearls. What are we doing to President Lincoln here? Just hear me out. In the documentary, Lover of Men, scholars point to at least 4 long-term intimate relationships that President Lincoln shared with other men. And while contrarians point to this excuse that times were different then, they absolutely were. But by modern standards and historical context, the evidence still very much points to a president who was at the very least bisexual. One man he shared a bed with frequently described Lincoln's thighs, everyone picture yourself where your thighs are, as perfect as they could be. Just gonna let that land where it goes. For 4 years, he shared a bed with Jonathan Speed, despite other people offering him free housing elsewhere. There were people offering him, hey, you can come live over here for free. He still chose to sleep in the same bed as Jonathan for 4 years. Beyond the point, finances would have been a valid excuse, because there were lots of men who shared beds back then because of lack of beds, and that's okay. The point that these historians are trying to make is that with Lincoln, the evidence pushes to something beyond that. And whenever Mary and the children were out of town, Lincoln always invited his personal bodyguard to share his bed. Now, Lincoln's sexuality holds very little import to our daily lives, but it does raise questions for people about his legacy. Would it matter to you if we had definitive proof brought forward about his sexuality? Would his legacy be tarnished in any way? Not to me. I just want us to be able to tell truthful history about all of our presidents and all of our people, because it's important, because representation matters, and because it's really important that people can have an authentic legacy that we carry forward. Our question as affirming and inclusive and welcoming congregations is not whether we are welcoming and affirming to gay and lesbian folks, because we have already done that, and we are very much there. We also need to ensure that our welcome extends to the rest of the alphabet. Our bisexual folks, our trans folks, our queer folks, our intersex folks, and so many others. We are people who keep pushing the boundary of love to say yes and. And part of that work is also examining the intersections of marginality, ensuring that Black and brown queer folks are treated as well in society as white queer folks, affirming disabled queer folks, and helping to balance the scales as much as we can for all of those different groups. That's one of the reasons TAKE is our Share of the Plate this month, is because of our affirmation to that commitment. Knowing more about a person shouldn't change how we treat them, but we all know that deep belonging is felt more keenly when people attempt and even succeed at trying to understand us a little bit more. It's one thing if you go to a church and they say, of course you are welcome here, but then to define yourself in a way that has been frequently ostracized by the rest of society, and for the church to say, yes, you are still welcome here. Please keep coming in. Let us continue the work of practicing radical inclusion and offering beloved belonging to all, regardless of their identities. Representation matters. And in the past 2 weeks, we have seen erasure of our own faith tradition from our military systems, causing harm to our Unitarian Universalist service members around the globe, and further trying to enforce a narrow spectrum of valid religious belief across our country. But without our second president, John Adams, who was our first Unitarian president, we might not be independent of Britain. He was nicknamed the Atlas of Independence for his rhetorical debate encouraging the separation. Without John Quincy Adams, our second Unitarian president, enslavement would have continued to spread throughout the colonies, and the Amistad case would not have resulted in freedom. And we would also not have a standard of weights and measures. We would not have prioritized science and infrastructure from our earliest years. Without Paul Revere, a dedicated Unitarian, we would not have had the coordination of knowing where the British Army was coming, nor would we have extensive weaponry that we needed to fight for our freedom. The story of our founding fathers includes many Unitarians, and no declaration from this administration will erase our place in this country's history. They do not have the power to define us. As we celebrate with mixed emotions this weekend, let us remember that our people, however you define yourself, have always been a part of these United States. From our Unitarian presidents to Julia Ward Howe's Battle Hymn of the Republic, read its words carefully. From the suffragists and abolitionists fighting for inclusion to all of us on the front lines for collective liberation today, be proud of who you are. Be proud of who we are. Let us define for ourselves and for others what it means to be the land of the free and the home of the brave, and to reestablish a government of the people, for the people, by the people, for all of the people in these United States of America. Happy Pride.
Closing hymn number 170 and the hardcover hymnal. If you'd like to join the church this morning, please come forward during the closing hymn. Also, could all current and future board members please come to the front during the last verse? Thank you.
We
Please be seated. I would like to give thanks for, am I still on? I would like to give thanks for our old board. This is who has been leading our congregation for the past year. Julie Nicholson Morgan. Phil Vanderkamp. Kylie Kerr. Mary Ann Plant. Brooke Carnes. Tom Jacobs. Xander Lee. Samantha Laylack. And Brenda Lively. Thank you all. This board has done incredible dreaming and goal setting and goal reaching. After a deficit budget last year, they have worked to collaborate with the school, which we invite you to learn more about, which is going to bring some much needed community and sustainability to our congregation. And some of these folks are staying on another year, and some of them are rotating off. Phil, Kylie, Mary Ann, and Julie, thank you for your service as you rotate off the board. We hope that you will find ways to reintegrate into the congregation and that we will give you your much deserved rest. And the folks rotating off the board are getting a meditation book called Incantations for Rest to help them with that process. And Julie, come up here. Yeah, I know, you love this part. The board presidency is by far the most challenging job in our church. And you have served as president for 2 whole years. Serving as president is also volunteer and unpaid and very, very difficult. And I hope you remember the remarkable times, the amazing accomplishments of the board that you led, and find ways to serve the church in ways that bring you joy. And so for Julie's gift, of course, the president I have to be a little different for. And so Julie is also getting incantations for rest, but Julie also needs to be able to wear her pride and I also give board presidents a chalice to remember their incredible Unitarian Universalist faith and how they have lived that out. But Julie's had to be a little bit different. So that you can continue sharing your light with others and know that we are always here thinking of you. Thank you. It has been a joy. Invite the two of you to sit. All right. Y'all want to line up a little? Yeah, there we go. All right. So your new board members are in an insert in your order of service. And so, new board. In a free religious community, to serve is the highest expression of our commitment and love. To be asked to lead is a high honor. The members of this congregation have elected you to serve in this capacity as leaders. And the relationship between a congregation and a board is one of deep respect and mutual regard. You have asked them, congregation, to take on this holy work of discernment and guidance for our congregation. And they need you to support them in their work, to share concerns and ideas with love, and to offer them trust as they fulfill their office faithfully. Because the work of the church is the work of the people. It is the work of building the world that we dream about here in this very small sphere that we can take hold of. It may require time spent poring over the budget, or hours spent in meetings where small details are hashed out. It may manifest in shared laughter or outright frustration. But it is always sacred, for it is the pursuit of beloved community. And as a symbol, we always install our new board members to remind the congregation and to remind all of you of this sacred task that you are taking on this morning. So in order to do that, I would ask those in the congregation to please join hands with your neighbor or to place a hand on the shoulder of the person in front of you and connect until each is a part of the circle of the community. And I would invite some folks up here, if you're particularly close to a board member, to come up and lay your hands on them so they can feel this too. Come on. Service is an act of faith. It is done faithfully in love as the work of justice and community building. That's what you asked these people before you this morning, that they serve you faithfully and well. And to do this, they need your trust and support. So I ask you, the members of the congregation, will you offer love and trust to your board, responding when they seek your input, showing up when they tell you that work needs to be shared, and listening carefully when they speak of the life of the church? If so, your answer is, we will. To the members of the board, will you be diligent and faithful in your work, bringing your best selves and practicing self-care and open-heartedness, tending with love the details of the work, and always keeping the goal of beloved community in front of you as you serve? May the Spirit of love guide you in the coming year, and may your service bless our congregation and the world. Please join me in thanking them for their work.
Sit down?
Yeah, you can. Okay, now for my other job, announcements. Please check out your order of service and your connection card for upcoming events. For all the following, please sign up on the connection card if you're interested and turn it into the ushers. First, thank you for all the ways you've shown up for the church this month. We would like for you to stand if you have volunteered in one of the following ways. At one of our Pride events, start standing. I see Pride peeps. Thank you. Marched in the parade, served during any Sunday service, volunteered as a delegate or for our GA hub, volunteered at our polling place, or volunteered in any other way that we have not mentioned for our church. Let's clap for them, please. We're grateful for your service and your stewardship from us in the congregation. Thank you. We have several groups forming and planning events right now, so be on the lookout as they emerge this summer. One I specifically wanted to call out was a women's church group that's getting formed. Several of you guys have been asking about it. If you do have interest to join, please note your connection card. We have several people that may still be interested. If you ordered a print of our Easter Sunday painting, or if you want one, they're available for $30 through the church office, and we will have a volunteer outside if you've already paid for yours to pick it up after church. Oh, we have a demonstrator right there as well. This fall, we will be joining with our UUs across the country in our common read, Love is at the Center. If you'd like to get started on your reading this summer, mark your connection card, or you can also get a copy from the office of the book. They're $18. Our next Long Living Liberals lunch, say that 5 times quickly, will be Wednesday, August 5th. Please plan to attend this fellowship event. And then from the decorating committee, they have 2 quick announcements. David Corliss's sanctuary exhibit is coming down this week. The 3-wing binder on the small table next to the double doors has instructions if you guys would still like to make a purchase, and you can take your purchase home today. Thanks to David's generosity, the entire purchase is going to our church. Also, the umbrella stand next to the front door is a little bit overflowing with umbrellas, so if you've forgotten to retrieve yours, please do that. That is it for announcements. Please return your connection card to the ushers at the end of service. We carry the flame forward, holding the quiet truths we carry, seeking the futures we're brave enough to write. In this circle, we honor the courage that it takes to live openly, the softness that sustains us, and the joy and power that grow when we gather. May we trust that our becoming, messy, radiant, unfolding, wholly belongs to us. We carry the flame forward, holding the quiet truths we carry, seeking the futures we're brave enough to write.
Friends, happy Pride. As always, that was the perfect sermon from Reverend Julie because mixed emotions is exactly where I am today. 12 months ago today, I was the victim of a hate crime. Today I am, yes ma'am. 12 months ago today, I was the victim of a hate crime, and today I'm here with my chosen family. And I wrote a poem for y'all, and then the sermon happened, and I changed my mind 14 times, and at the end, she ended it exactly where I wanted the poem to be, so I'm just going to do the one I wrote for the day. So this is, I guess, called Pride with 2 U's. I didn't really name it. I come today with no admonition, no inquisition, no philosophical position for you to consider. No, you are here, week to week, and let's be honest, that has to make you at least like 25% queer. But let's be real for a minute. We all feel like imposters from time to time. These monsters in our head, always here to remind us of our microaggressions, begging tearful confessions of sometimes our cold, hard crimes. We go to you, so we can find the beauty in everyone, except often, it seems, our own beauty hides. So breathe in deeply with me, if you will. And let it go in a sigh. Keep breathing deeply and remember that you are the apple of the universe's eye. You are the mischievous sparkle in her smile. You are the being that she calls child. You are the manifestation of our own imagination. You are making the world a safer place daily. You have helped make this location a sanctuary for me. For we, this Ebenezer we have built to inclusivity, sparkling through the rusty Alabama humidity, overlooking a city that so desperately wishes to be free of their mental chains. So we gather here, you and me, and demonstrate proudly that true change can be made in this world, made in this country, made in this state. We take pride in the wonders of our diversity, give life to our LGBTQIA plus family, have by far the hippest little gender-bendy youth team, and all of us, from the youngest children to the aging women like me, feel seen. So be proud of your pride, my friends. And if you would do me this favor, repeat after me. Who I am is a gift to the world. This next part may be a little scary, but please, look to your neighbor on the left, and if you feel comfortable, take their hand and tell them, who you are is a gift to my world. And then turn once more to the other side. And don't be afraid to lock eyes when you say, who you are is a gift to my world. now. Believe that.